All right, everybody, welcome back. We are looking at Wayfair. Now, Wayfair has been a trade that was doing really good, and then they came out with this news about the cure. So the Pfizer news came out and it killed this trade, and it's been something that we've had to roll a couple times, and now it's doing really good again. And what I'm actually looking to do here is I want to roll it and make more money in it. Right? We want to take a winning trade and we want to get more money. We always have to be concerned that the longer we're in a trade, the longer the more exposure we have, right? Right now, Wayfair is doing good, but let's go out and actually look at the Wayfair chart here for a moment. When I first took this trade, we were right in this area here. It's a good time to get in. I went ahead and took that market. Um, well, let's look at the date here. 11/3. So October 3rd. Make sure that we're lining this all out really well. So we were at the top of the range here. I believe that I was looking to get in right around here on this day here. There's the trade date 11/3. So it's not giving us a third. There must have been we were in it on the Friday, right? Because this is what I'm looking at, guys. Let's kind of help you focus on where I'm focused on. Let's see, November 3. So this is the day that we got into it. Okay, we got into the trade here, and I took the 262.5, 265. Now I tend to build things at the money, and we can see that I had collected $1.08 in credit on that day. So it was this day, right around that 263 range. Okay, near the low of the near the open. It looks like. Okay, we opened that up in the afternoon. And then after I was in it, the market ran up, broke above the 50. Everything was looking really good. The Pfizer news came out and knocked that thing down. And by the end of the week, we were sitting down here at these lows. It was a really, really tough situation. Okay. So the trade needed to be fixed. We went ahead and rolled the December 4 out to the December 24, and we rolled down from the 265 to the 255. And we held that trade for a couple days, and in that one, I had also collected $70 credit. So that gave us a total credit of $178 in a $5 wide trade. Didn't really like that, but it allowed us time and it lowered our break even on the chart. So that's kind of what our focus was. And then I wanted to roll down again. So we gave it another couple of days. It looks like I gave it from the 24th of November out to December 14. So this is 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I rolled it on that day from the 255 down to the 252. Okay. So just lowered everything on the strike position, another strike down, and added one more week to it. That gave us the January 8, in that one, I actually paid $3, which gave me an average trade price of $1.75 in credit. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. We're in the 252.5, 247.5, $5 wide trade, $175 in credit. And what I don't like about this is I like to stay kind of centered in my trades. If I'm in a trade where I'm risking a dollar, I want to try to make a dollar. And if not, then I want to try to get that fixed. So the trade is winning. Everything is going well. We've made it back above the 50 period moving average, and we've also made it back above this near term pivot point here. So I'm looking to get a little bit of money out of this trade. When we've got something working in our favor, it's time to reevaluate the situation. I don't want to make the trade bigger. In fact, I'd like to make it a little bit smaller. I'd also like to perhaps get some more credit. I've got $1.75. If I could add another $50, then I'd be in a 125. So I would be risking 375 to make 125. I know it's not where we want to be, right? But we got to kind of work these things and get them to where we want to be. So I'm looking to move my break even up a little bit from the 252 up to one strike spot. Let's go look at what this is. So here where it says S1B1, that's the trade that I have right now, and I'm looking to roll up just one strike. We're staying in the same series. We're going to keep the January 8s at the moment, and that's where we're at. Now you might be asking, why am I staying here? How come I'm not just going out into the Jan 15s? And believe me, I want to. The Jan 15s have a lot more liquidity. The problem is the Jan 15s, they have these $10 wide strikes, and I don't want to go $10 wide. So I can't get out there right now. And I say right now, I could perhaps get there tomorrow or Monday, but right now there's just no strikes for me out there. So that leaves me here on the Jan 8s. And there's a little bit of liquidity here today, not a whole lot. We could turn on the volume and see what kind of liquidity we have. So, you can see here a little bit of activity, not very much, right? So, more than likely, hey, maybe this doesn't get filled, but we want to go through the motions. We want to try to do something with this trade. Well, look at what they're offering me down here. They're offering me at the moment an extra $40 in credit if I move my strikes up a little bit. Now, here is at the money. W today is at 286.50. So we're way up here. That's where the market is right now. And so this trade is winning. For Wayfair to challenge my position, it would have to fall all the way back down to 255 plus some and then start to challenge me. So why not see if we can get a little more credit in this trade for doing nothing more than perhaps adjusting our position up one strike. Now I mentioned earlier that I wouldn't mind making the trade a little bit smaller because right now it is a $5 wide trade. And if I don't have to, I don't want to carry a $5 wide trade. Now, what I just did, they won't let me have for a credit. They want me to pay for it. We want to think this through for a moment. I have an average trade price of $1.75 credit, and I'm in a $5 wide trade. So right now, I've got $325 worth of risk and $175 worth of credit opportunity. If I was to do this roll, I would reduce the trade back down to a $2.50 wide trade, and I would remove some of my credit. I would lose $40 of this credit. That would put me in an average trade price of $1.35 for a $2.50 wide trade. Now remember, one thing that I like is to be near a 1-to-1. If I'm in a $2.50 wide trade, I want to have something at around $1.25 in credit. Because that way I can risk $1.25 to make $1.25. That's a pretty fair deal. This roll right here would actually have me in a trade at 135 credit while risking 110, right? So 135, yeah, 115. Okay, so it's a little more in our wheelhouse, so to speak. So I kind of like that idea. Now the debit just jumped up drastically here, so I wouldn't want to do it at this point because now, it's not such a fair deal for me. I'm looking at getting rebalanced very close to say $1.25. That's really that would be my spot that I'd want to be at. So if I was to offer $50 in debit and they took that off of the credit that I've already got, I would be in a trade $2.50 wide with $1.25 actual credit. Now, every one of these trades has cost me in fees. that might be something that I would want to consider as well, right? Because I'm sitting here with the opportunity to make these changes, and I want to make sure that I'm not eating all of those fees and those commissions. So that could be another thing that we think about, right? And instead of only getting that at 125, maybe we try to get it just a little bit better than that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this order in and see if I can get Wayfair rolled up to this new position. And I'm actually going to pay a debit here. I'll pay what they want me to pay. 22 is better than the 50 that I was willing to do. So I'm going to try to get this done, and I am willing to pay a debit. But I definitely wanted to make sure that everybody understood what my thinking was in here and why we think it's okay to do a debit, right? We talk a lot about never rolling for a debit. Make sure you always collect a credit, but that's not necessarily true. We want to think about what it is that we're doing in the trade. In this trade, it's a $2.50 wide trade, and I don't like. It's a $5 wide trade, and I don't like that. My choices here are to close this big trade down to free up some of my buying power, or to reduce the size of the trade. Well, it's a winning trade and it's doing really good. So I don't want to close it down. I would suggest instead that we roll it up and we reduce the position size and we get rebalanced into more of that fair, equitable range that we're trying to be in. Okay, so if we take this back out to the position right now and we turn on the working orders, so here's the trade that we're in at the moment, and you can see I'm offering a fair price, but there really was no liquidity there. We would struggle to actually get a fill, but we'll give it a try anyways. If this is to get filled, we will have reduced our position size down from $5 wide to $2.50 wide. And we would also be reducing our risk because right now I'm holding $325 worth of risk. I don't like that, and I'd like to get rid of it. And this would offer me that opportunity to remove a lot of that risk. Okay, so that's the trade, guys. That's the roll. I don't have it filled yet, but hopefully this walkthrough gave you an opportunity to see what it was that I was doing and why I chose the strikes that I chose. Obviously, it would be better to just go to the Jan 15s, but there's only $10 wide strikes there right now, and we don't want to make the trade bigger. We want to make it smaller. So that means we're just not going to be going there yet. All right, everybody. I will see you at the next video.